Hey guys, sorry I'm a little bit late. I got distracted, but it looks like the Kohberger hearing is going to start soon, and I'm just waiting for Judge John Judge's channel to go ahead and put the live view up. So let me just check that here. Not sure if anybody's here with me. I know a lot of people are streaming this, so. Let's see, here we go. Share. Yeah, so it's interesting, this page. This is the judge's channel, and I have to keep a close eye on it because it doesn't really, it just kind of pops up when it's there. So, hey, Leslie. Hey. So, yeah, so this should be interesting, the trial today. I mean, or hearing. Apparently there's going to be witness testimony, which I'm assuming is expert witness, not like an actual witness, because we know God only knows that, like, an actual witness, those people are all I don't know who those people are, but yeah, I'm assuming it's an expert witness that's basically going to somehow prove that the state. Yeah, 12 gauge, it looks like he was here around 409. I don't know if he's come back yet or not, though. I hope he comes back. Yeah, thanks for being here, Leslie. You're like my biggest fan. I really appreciate your support. It's like it makes me it makes me like happy that you come and hang out with me. But yeah, let me go check. Let me check what is going on in the share screen. Let's see. View in YouTube. Because last time I was like yammering on and they just like suddenly just started. It's like, okay. Yeah. It's interesting too because they just basically delete it afterwards, which I find interesting. I don't know why they delete it afterwards. They just don't, they like to like not have any proof of anything in Idaho, I guess. But I'm just really hoping. I was trying Judge's page too. It's very silent. Yeah, it's always like that, until it just like pops on there. And, I'm just going to go over and look at court TV too. If anybody sees anything pop up, let me know because I'll just start streaming it. I know some of those other channels get mad or they try to copyright strike you or something. I don't know, but it's not like I'm some huge channel. Hello, Linda. How are you? Nice to have you here. We're all just waiting with bated breath. I'm just hoping like something happens today. Like we find something out, like anything would be great. Like any information whatsoever that would be new and different would be so exciting. I'm hoping for a PowerPoint presentation today. I know that PowerPoint presentations get the prosecution, a little bit nervous. So I'm really hoping for a PowerPoint today. I'm hoping for some testimony from an expert witness that, and he presents some facts that Bill wasn't prepared for. Hoping for that. Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm hoping for. But just any kind of definitive anything would be just so awesome in this case because everything is just so, let's seal it and then let's seal the reason for sealing it and let's seal the hearing for why we're having a reason for sealing it. And it's just like, oh my gosh, I can't take it anymore. Which is why I've been kind of focusing on the whole Karen Reed case because at least there's something to look at there. At least there's some there. And yeah, so all right, let's go check the YouTube page again. I feel like they always start late. I feel like they definitely always start late over here. So yeah. And then there's a lot of channels too. I know. I mean, I was really like hardcore, and I'm still very interested in this case. Don't get me wrong, very interested in the Idaho case. It's just at some point, the theories they start to just go left for me, and I can't follow some of the theories, especially when there's no evidence for it. It's kind of tough. So I try to stick with. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've gone on some left-sided theories myself, but some of them just don't really make much sense. And I do really think that like the tunnels, yeah. Like I'm sure there's tunnels under Moscow, the town of Moscow. Like I'm pretty sure I have tunnels in my town, right? And don't get me started on Middle Earth and what's going on under there, because that's a whole other thing. But I don't think that there's like specifically a tunnel underneath 1122 King Road. Exactly. There's tunnels everywhere, and they're driving like big trucks through them, and the elite are building their bunkers, right? But like, I don't think there's like specifically a tunnel that they're like going through under the house that goes across the street to the president's house. And I can't go. I can't do that one. It's just really tough for me to do that one. Um, I mean, is it possible? Sure. I mean, it's also possible aliens came down and did something to them, right? But like, I just don't feel like the tunnel thing really. I just can't go with that one. The longer this case goes on, and the level of secrecy really makes me believe there's 100% some sort of drugs involved. I don't know what you guys think, but I just can't. There's got to be some level of drug dealing involved in this case. I'm sorry. I just, with the level of secrecy here and the informants, I just feel like, I'm not saying the kids did drugs. I'm not saying they were drug dealers. I don't want to besmirch any people who have died. I think it's a really bad idea to talk ill of the dead. I'm simply saying, hello, lovely person, Michael Wimmer. Hello. I'm simply saying that the longer this case has gone on, and with all the secrecy, I I really do believe there is some illegal drug activity involved here with this case. On the periphery or centrally, I can't say, but I definitely feel like at least in some aspect. I don't know. What do you guys think? Um, and then, okay, see, this is what happens. I start yammering, and I get distracted. Let's see. Let's see if anybody, let's check Court TV. Is Court TV, you know how Court TV is. They're always just like doing stuff, right? Let's check Court TV out. Let's try Court TV. Share. And let's go over to, okay. So it looks like, no, it doesn't look like there's anything happening yet over here either. Live coverage. Waiting. Nope, nobody's over there either. Okay. All right, I'm back. And I have up a weird screen. Hold on, guys. Judge, share. All right. And I'm back. If it's true that DM's boyfriend is a dealer. Yeah, like I don't even know. Like, and again, like it's that kind of stuff. Like you hear all these rumors about this one's a dealer. I know, I did look at court records for Demetrius Robinson and Emma Bailey, and that for certain happened, that they were arrested in some sort of they were, there was a problem. I mean, they supplied drugs, and a young man lost his life because it was fentanyl laced, and this is happening all over the country, and this stuff is devastating, right? And that actually happened, and they are not in prison, right? So did they supply some sort of information that allowed them to stay out of prison. Well, it probably, I mean, that seems likely, I would imagine. The reason they said that they weren't being tried is because of jurisdiction matters or something. But I mean, this doesn't seem right to me. Does that have anything to do with the Idaho 4 case? I have no idea. I mean, everyone seems to want to tie Emma Bailey and these people with Idaho 4. I don't know. But that young man did go to University of Idaho, and these people, I guess on the periphery at least, know them, right? But in terms of Dylan Morton's boyfriend, do we have any actual facts that he was a dealer, right? Like you're saying, Leslie, if it's true that he's a dealer, right? I don't know if he's a dealer. He may be. So I don't know. And then his father, people say he was in prison. I honestly didn't take the time to look it up and see if he was in prison. There does seem to be quite a bit of white supremacy, and yeah, no facts, right? There does seem to be quite a bit of white supremacy in Idaho, though. That's one thing I noticed. There is a lot of white supremacy in Idaho. The other thing is, the trial being moved, right? And I forget where I heard this. It may have been Get a Clue. It may have been from others as well. It does make sense that, the trial being moved from that little town may not actually benefit the defendant. And here's why. Let me just check. Let me check here because I get so nervous that I'm gonna. And if you guys see the trial pop up anywhere, let me know so I'll definitely put it on. So here's the theory I heard about it. So you guys probably know about Stickergate, right? Stickergate was during the lockdowns. Get a clue, left YouTube again, right? So, okay. So during the lockdowns, the church, that big church that's in Moscow, I'm blanking on the name right now. You guys probably know the name of it, but it's a very, very strict Christian church in Moscow. We're not happy about wearing masks, like many people in the country. And they decided that they weren't going to wear masks, and they protested. And because it's a university town, they have a little more liberal views than the rest of Idaho does, even though it's a more conservative state. And they were sort of sparring. And apparently they put some stickers up saying something like something about Moscow, like Soviet Moscow or something, I don't know. And then the stickers were taken down, and I think the police behaved kind of badly. And this all came to some big head, and the police got in trouble. The Moscow Police Department got in trouble for this. And so this group of people in that town that are locals, and there's a fairly large amount of them, are not really big fans of the Moscow Police Department. And so they have heavy amounts of skepticism regarding anything that they do, especially arresting people that may not actually be guilty. And so this pastor, which I can't believe I'm forgetting this guy's name right now, but he is telling all of his constituents to really not assume anything about this defendant in Idaho. So I just thought that was kind of interesting. So if it does stay in Moscow, it's not the worst thing in the world. I mean, they have to see what the rest of the surveys show, right? I mean, the surveys showed that it's, clearly swayed in that town. It's probably going to show it's swayed in all the other towns too, because media is national. So if that's the case, they're not going to move it, is my opinion, but we'll see. Okay, these guys are late as usual. Let's see. Let me check. So what made Get a Clue? Why did he leave this time? Oh, that's it, Michael Wormer. Pastor Doug Wilson. That's right. Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. Pastor Doug Wilson. Yes. Hi, Kelly. Nice to have you here. Yeah, it's Pastor Doug can an appeal if it isn't moved. I'm not sure. I mean, I think, with the surveys, if it's showing that it's biased in the different towns, I don't think that it's going to make a difference if they try it in Moscow or another town. And like I was saying, this pastor Doug Wilson, I don't know what percentage of the town belongs to his church, but apparently if any of his people are on the jury, I don't know, let's say, I don't live in Moscow, I don't know what the percentage is, but apparently there's a fair amount of people that go to his church. Like I said, they're very skeptical of the police force there. I think Clopenny said we're close now. They are not. Oh, so it was something to do with that. Moving it should be second. Yeah, I mean his rights have been violated for sure. I mean 100%. And that's the thing. Like whether you believe him guilty or innocent, his rights have they've been. Oh, it's on now. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you. See, why is this doing this? This makes me so frustrated. Judge. There we go.
On record, please.
No, that's not what I
Here
want.
we are.
Sorry, guys. I'm going to get it one sec here.
22805. Mr. Kohberger is here in the courtroom with his attorney, Ms. Taylor. The state's represented by Mr. Thompson and Ms. Jennings, Latah County Prosecutor's Office. I believe Mr. Logston is remote, and so is Ms. Matha, both representing Mr. Kohberger. I think I've covered everybody. Ms. Evans is court.
Okay.
Reporter. We're here for a motion and a potential witness, I believe, relating to motions to compel discovery, 4th and 5th. That's all I know. Okay, go ahead, Ms. Taylor.
Your Honor, the court is correct. We are here to begin the motions to compel.
Restart it. Really sorry, guys. This is ridiculous.
Mallory, come on up.
Nice. I feel like I'm listening. Okay. If anyone is still here with me, you guys are really awesome because I just lost my mind over here. I'm putting this up. Here we go.
With the Moscow Police Department.
What is your role there?
I am a detective.
How long have you worked for Moscow Police Department?
I've worked in Moscow for over 5 years.
Have you been a detective that entire time?
I have.
And prior to that, did you have law enforcement experience?
I do.
How many years total?
We have on 14.
Detective Mallory, did you take part in the investigation into the homicides on King Road?
Yes.
And what was your role?
A lot of different things. How to answer that.
Well, I can ask you about a couple of roles, maybe.
Sure.
Do you do any work with cell phones and cell towers?
I have taken training for cell phone analysis.
Was that one of the roles that you played in this investigation?
Yes.
All right. And the other area that I'd like to talk to you about is the collection of videotape evidence or surveillance evidence from around the community. What was your role in that?
So we gathered a lot of data, a lot of USBs, hard drives that came in. Time. At one point, all of that was given to me so that I could copy it over to a server. So we have it stored and backed up.
Did you inventory it at that time as you got it in, I guess?
Don't have to say inventory. I used the evidence technician to help me book them individually at the time. Right, so the USB had the name of it on it. I would label the folder, what it was, and that came from it.
Did you have any role in verifying the content of the surveillance?
No.
I'm going to have a few questions about that, but I want to talk a little bit more about your role with cell phones and cell towers. So let's start there, okay? What training do you have for that role?
So some time ago, I went through what they say PATC training, which is cellular analysis, and I've also taken classes with CAS codes.
The cellular analysis, is that particular to the device itself, the cell phone device?
No.
That is particular to towers?
To the towers and the providers themselves.
When did you take that training?
Well, the CAS, I believe it was in 2019, and then I also did it again last year.
And the CAS that you took in 2019, that was the ENDICAC, is that right?
That was phenomenal again.
And the CAS that you took last year was October of 2023, is that correct?
Yes.
And that was the actual CAST training.
They were both done by actual cast members. I'm not sure if one was sponsored by the other, but they were both performed by FBI cast members.
And Your Honor, if I can approach.
Yes, thank you.
Detective Mowry, I'm putting in front of you what's labeled as Defendant's Exhibit O, and those are 2 certificates for training. Is that correct?
Yes,
All right. The one that's from 2019, what did that cover?
that covered the use of the Castus software.
And what did the one in 2023 cover?
The second,
Your Honor, I move for admission of Defendant's O.
The objection?
No objection.
Okay, those are exhibit, oh, no objection. Thank you.
The Detective Mowry, how many total hours do those certificates represent of CAST training?
I apologize, I didn't look, it was a week long, it was actually a couple of days each time. 2 days a piece of
Do you
please.
need this?
But so the 2019 shows 24 hours, 2023 says 16 hours.
Thank you, Detective.
Thank you.
Detective, you've written some reports in this case, is that correct?
Yes,
I want to talk about 2 particular reports right now. One is from May the 5th of 2023. Do you recall that report, or should I bring a copy of that to you?
it'd be helpful to add a copy.
I can definitely do that. You can show it to Ms. Jennings.
We have a jury next door,
Okay.
just so you know, that's all about it.
Detective Mowry, does that appear to be your report from May 5th of 2023?
Yes,
And Your Honor would move for admission of Defendants P.
That's P.
P, like Paul?
All right. Any objection?
Hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Exhibit P is admitted, no objection.
Thank you, Your Honor. Detective Mowry, I do not have a police report for the other one that I want to talk about today. It's one that I received via email today that was written just within the last few days by you, probably. Do you know what report I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what I want to understand is we're talking about documents or records or logs that can be created by a CastViz program. The report that you wrote that I received today, when did you learn about those documents that exist according to that report?
The session logs that I found were from yesterday.
Why did you come to find them yesterday?
I was preparing for this hearing.
Okay. And those are things that existed for quite some time, is that correct?
They did.
And when you wrote about your work with CastViz in May of 2023, did you document those items?
No,
Tell me what you found when you were preparing for the motion to compel today.
I found session logs that were sent to me from the FBI.
All right. And in those session logs, how many files were there?
I don't remember, I think there were 6 or 7 different items inside.
Did you look at the CastViz 48-hour file?
I don't remember if I did at the time of reception.
Did you look at it yesterday in preparation for this hearing?
I attempted to.
All right. And how about the CastViz full log?
I attempted to yesterday.
I noticed in your report that there were several items that you listed. Were those from these CastViz logs that you attempted to look at yesterday?
I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to, you need to speak up a little bit. Or just telling me to pick up a little bit. Thanks.
There were some files that were in the session logs, there were other files that were not.
Well, let's start with the 48-hour. What was contained in there?
There's over 48 hours that was the AT&T records, the original records. And there's a 48-hour session log. I don't know which one you're at.
Let's go with the session log. What was in there?
Appeared to be the AT&T records that possibly were inputted, as well as some JSON files that were probably produced by CastViz.
JSON files were produced by CastViz. Is that right?
I would assume that. I didn't create those files.
What date were they created?
I believe one was in December. The other was in April.
December of what year?
22,
And April of what year?
23.
Could you tell who created those?
I could not.
How did you get those?
I was provided those via email.
By who?
I made balance of the FBI.
What did you do with those?
Gave them as soon as I realized they were in my possession. I had contacted the prosecutor and gave them.
And that would be just yesterday, is that correct?
Yes.
What did you do with them prior to that time?
They were sent to me. I put them in a folder and I didn't do anything else with them. That's why I forgot them.
Okay, and that was the 48-hour file?
48-hour session log, yes.
How about the full file? What was contained in there?
Similar items to the 48.
What is the full file?
I believe that was the second AT&T return that we got via warrant. I wasn't able to open it to verify it.
That brings up a question for clarification. When you say second warrant return, are you talking about something that relates to Bryan Kohberger?
Yes, there was 2 warrants that were originally written. One that covered a 48-hour period for the cell phone number, and there was one that was later done for a longer period of time.
And those are what you're referring to as the warrants 1 and warrant 2?
Correct. Okay. 48 and one for the longer period.
In the report that I just received today, there was reference to a loped bar file. What's that?
It is a file that I received from Agent Downs.
When did you receive that?
want to say the modification or the email, I honestly don't remember. Unfortunately, it was yesterday and I didn't throw this stuff together, so.
Okay. So that was one that you just found yesterday?
Yes,
Okay. Did you open that?
I don't recall opening it. But I did, I don't recall doing it.
How about the CDR.xlsx file? Would that, and CDR, what does that stand for?
All detail records,
Did you open that?
I don't remember if I did not.
Did you open it yesterday?
I don't remember. I was looking for it. Once I found them, I was trying to figure out how they came into my presence or in my possession. That's where I started to focus.
Okay. How about the export.kmz file? When did you find that file?
I had found that one yesterday,
Do you know when that came into your possession?
some time ago.
Did you open that?
I believe I did on my laptop.
What did that show you?
It showed me different locations and so forth on a map.
Those three files that we just talked about, along with the CastViz 48 and the CastViz full, are those copied so that I can have those now?
Yes,
And you referred to emails. How many emails did you find when you were preparing for this hearing?
I believe there was 5.
Are those included for me to have now as well?
Yes,
Thank you. In the report that I received today, there was a reference to drawings.json file. What's that?
it was a JSON file that was inside the CastViz session.
What does that depict?
It's just data that CastViz would use, I'm guessing, to replot something on the map to actually show locations or other things.
Did you do anything with that file when you found it yesterday?
I did open that file, yes.
Okay. What did that show you when you opened it?
There were references to 2 locations inside.
When you open it, does it just say here's 2 references, or what does it show you when you open it?
It's different code, but there is some plain language or plain English, plain text inside of that code that show 2 addresses.
Did you use that file? Well, let me ask this first. That file that contains code, do you use that with the CastViz program?
I attempted to load the session file as it in its entirety and received errors, so I was not able to. That's why I went into the JSON file to see if there was something I could see reference.
Is that file usable?
I'm sure it is to someone.
What is the restriction for you?
I don't know what restriction it is. I don't know what to do with that file outside of if I could possibly bring it into the CastViz. I tried to pull it in as a combined session log, which is what I was trained to do. So I didn't get that. I didn't pull that file.
Is that file available on a discovery drive for me?
I to the prosecutor today.
Thank you. In the report that I just got today, there's a reference to another CastViz session and some screenshots. What is that about?
I believe you're talking about just the regular 48 hours folder.
I don't know. I'm curious.
So that I provided 2 folders. One was CastViz and one was just my last name of Maori. That was to differentiate the files that I found that were provided to me and the folder of the files that I used to create this report.
Okay. CastViz is the files that you found while preparing,
Correct.
and the one that says Maori is what you used to create your May 3rd report of 2023.
Yes.
Okay, I think I understand that now. In that file, I think your report said you found screenshots dated April 19th of 2023.
Yes.
All right. Does that mean that's the day that you put things into your CastViz program?
That was the day that I made the screenshots themselves.
Okay. Where are those screenshots now? Are those also included on the drive?
Yes,
Okay. And then your report dated 5/3 says that you were asked to examine the record. So I'm a little confused if you had something that you took screenshots of on 4/19, but on 5/3 you were asked to examine the record. What were you doing on 4/19 or before to get those screenshots?
so I was tasked, the date was May 3rd for the report. It's not the date that I asked.
Okay. What day were you asked to do?
I do not remember. I'm gonna guess that it was somewhere around April 19th. That's when the screenshots were created.
Okay. Let's talk about that time frame then and what you did. Did you actually use a CastViz program at that time to create something?
Yes,
The CastViz program that you used at that time, and we're talking about springtime of 2023, we'll call it April for now, if that's fair. What training had you received by then to do this CastViz program?
the 2019 training.
Okay. With the CastViz program, what's the first thing that you did?
Once the program is open, you can drag and drop the CPR records into the program.
CDR means call detail records.
Right.
Did you do just 48-hour records or did you do full records in April of 2023?
I only did the 48 hours.
When you put the records in, those are the call detail records and those relate to what?
To the phone that the records were coming back to.
The number you associated with Bryan Kohberger.
Right.
Okay. After you put those call detail records in, do you have to do anything with cell towers?
With the AT&T, no, because the cell tower locations are in the AT&T CPR.
Okay. So you put that record in, the tower locations are already part of the call detail record that you put in.
Yes,
Is that something that you have electronic on your computer and then you open your CastViz program and just import it into the program?
yes, AT&T provides both PDF and text documents of the file. And I use the text document to put into CastViz to have it adjusted.
And when you do that, what gets exported?
Nothing. At that point, nothing is exported or created that I know of.
Can you export the session that you're working on?
You can export a session log, yes.
Did you do that?
No.
How did you create screenshots?
By using the built-in Windows snip tool, as well as the built-in Windows game console, or they call it the game bar, which is just accessed by hitting Windows G. That allows you to record your screen.
Are those the only two things you did, is screen clip and screen record?
Yes,
How many times did you use call detail records in the CastViz program?
probably a dozen times. I'm not entirely sure.
That was a terrible question. How many times did you use the CastViz program in relation to Bryan Kohberger's call detail records?
I don't know.
More than once?
I recall doing it for the grand jury because I wasn't the main lead in the call detail records investigation.
I don't understand what that means.
I wasn't the main person looking at those call detail records.
You weren't the main person with the call detail records, but you put them in the CastViz program anyway?
For the grand jury, I was requested.
Okay. What did you rely on in producing those, producing whatever you produced for the grand jury?
Rely on what do you mean, what did I produce? As far as the AT&T records,
I want to know what you relied on to do that, to produce something for the grand jury.
I don't understand the question.
Okay. You weren't the main guy with the call detail records or with the cast viz programming. Did I understand that much right?
There was another investigator that was doing that.
Okay. But you end up involved in it somehow in April of 2023, is that right?
That's when I was asked to examine the data to provide that for the grand jury.
Okay. Was that all of your instruction?
What do you mean by that?
Well, you're asked by somebody else who's actually doing this part of the investigation in the case to produce something for the grand jury to use. And I'm
Is that the
curious about
prosecutor?
what you relied on, to get to that point. I want to know all the records you relied on, all of the emails, all of the conversations you relied on to produce this thing that you're not the expert for.
So I wrote the affidavit for the AT&T records, received the AT&T records. Those records were also given to another investigator who was the main investigator doing the CDR records. Prosecution then asked me to provide or create some type of visualization of the call detail records and examine the call detail records for the 4 hours in question. That
Just to be really sure, when you talked about writing the 2 warrants for AT&T, we're talking about 2 warrants that relate to Bryan Kohberger. There were a lot of other warrants. Is that right?
correct.
Okay,
Yes.
I just want to be really clear on that. You've taken the cast training, is that right?
Yes.
And you know there's a way to save your session, is that correct?
Yes.
And there's also a way just to hit reset and delete your session. Do you know that part too?
Mhm.
And back in April, when you were creating something for the grand jury, you hit reset, is that right?
Or I just deleted the files out of it. I don't remember if I had reset or deleted. You can delete them individually as well.
You don't remember which thing you did,
Okay.
but you decided to delete what you'd created.
I don't know. I didn't delete anything. I didn't create the session log, so I don't know how I was doing it. You delete the reference of the file in the software, but the file itself is not deleted.
I want to make sure I understand. The record, the AT&T record still exists. You didn't delete that.
Correct.
But the session, when you put that in to the cast viz program, and it does its thing with the call detail records, which includes tower references, you either deleted that session or you chose to reset. Did I understand that right?
Didn't create a session log. I don't know how I would delete it. I just removed the reference to the file, the main file, from the software at some point. I don't know when I did that.
You don't know when you did that?
No, you can close the software without hitting reset or delete.
And then it would just stay there.
I deleted that.
And you can also export your session if you get interrupted and you want to come back and work on it, right?
Yes,
Okay. Did you do that? You left it up and running at some point and then did something that didn't save it. Is that right?
the session log was never created. Did not create a session log. The CDR records that I was dealing with is relatively small. There's no need to do that because I can ingest the files right back into CastViz in a short amount of time.
Your Honor, just for clarity, may I approach? I have another exhibit to show him. I'll give it to you. Thank you. Are you familiar with the document that was handed to you that's marked defendants W?
Yes,
And have you seen that before?
I have.
Is that something that you were taught from the CAST Users Guide?
I'm sure I was. It's also included in the software that can be readily assessments.
Okay. And Your Honor, would move for admission of defendants W?
Thank you.
No.
No objection. Okay, that exhibit W is admitted.
Thank you.
No objection.
In your training, were you also taught from the CAST Field Users Guide?
I believe so.
I'm about ready to switch gears on you and talk a little bit more about videos for a second, but if I can have just one moment, Your Honor.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay, let's switch gears for just a minute. You, during the course of your work, did you make contact with the Idaho Department of Transportation to talk about some of the cameras that cover main roads coming into and out of Moscow?
Yes,
And did you attempt to make preservation of any items? What items did you want preserved?
I was trying to see if they had saved video or still images from those times,
What did you learn?
that they do not retain those.
Did you, when you say they do not retain those, do you mean they don't retain videos or pictures or both?
Well,
Did you do a preservation for anything?
not recall studying actually the preservation letter out.
Okay. Your Honor, if I can have another exhibit provided.
Yes, thank you.
He's kind of like shitting himself right now. He has no idea, like, what is he doing?
What do you recognize that exhibit?
So these are emails that I was trying to find some kind of contact information for windy.com, a website that does weather-related information as well as has some links to images from cameras that are covering the highway.
And did you learn that you could have some still shots preserved?
I did.
Did you have some still shots preserved?
I did not.
Okay. Your Honor, would move for admission of defendants PP.
Thank you. That's what, I'm sorry, PP?
Double P, yes.
That's what I thought. Okay. Exhibit PP is exhibit or admitted, no objection.
When we started talking, we talked about you kind of being the guy that would book or take videos in from different agencies, even if you didn't verify what was on the device you received. Is that right?
Yes.
And do you I have a specific one that a couple of them I want to ask you about. One is from Red Star Coffee Shop. Do you recall receiving that video? Okay. And are you aware that it was hooked in or brought in by Idaho State Police?
No.
How would I find out about those videos?
I don't know. You'd have to go through the USB drives to find out what was given. I was just given the mass USB drives. I was not given them individually by the people that were bringing them in for time. Given to them after it had been handed off to other investigators and other assistants that were helping the calls.
Is there somebody else I should ask about specific ones to track where they went?
I don't know. I don't have that information.
Okay. All right, give me just a minute, Your Honor.
Sure.
Thank you, Detective Mallory. I don't have any other questions for now, but hold on, the prosecutor might.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor. Thanks, Mr. Thompson.
Ms. Jeans.
Okay, Ms. Jennings.
Mallory, I want to go back and talk a little bit about this past biz program. Can you explain to me generally what is cast biz?
It's just a software that is useful in creating visualizations of the call detail records.
Okay. So how is it useful? What does it show?
It shows the location and the direction of the cell towers and their sector antennas.
Okay. Now, what version of cast biz do you have?
Currently, I think I have 33 on my laptop. It's prompted me to update to 38. But at the time, I believe I had 30 installed.
So walk me through. You start up the software program,
Yes,
and then what do you do?
drag the text file from the CDRs into the system. It ingests the files and then produces a display of that data.
Okay. And is that what you did on the 19th?
Yes,
And then what did you do with that visual that was displayed?
those visuals, I created screenshots, created the screen capture of the video. Casper also allows a timeline playing view that you can record separate from Windows built in software. I can save those.
Other than uploading the CDRs, did you change any of the settings on CastViz?
The only thing that I would have done was gone in and changed made sure that the time was correct because they were coming in from TC. It was a coordinated time. I wanted to make sure that those were representative of the local time.
Alright, so you just changed it to Pacific.
Correct.
Any other changes?
No.
Okay. So you were talking about how it does not automatically save.
It does not.
Okay. And you chose not to save.
No. And in the exhibit that was provided, the actual text says that if you need to save a session file.
And can you tell me why didn't you save these settings?
I was creating the visualization exhibits. That's what I was doing with that.
Any reason to save the settings?
No.
Could this be recreated or redone in the same fashion?
Yes, I can, again, open the software, drag the CDRs back in, and in a very short time it is generated.
And it would give you the same information?
Yes,
Is that why you didn't save it?
yes.
I want to switch over to the other session files that you found. Were those session files created by you?
No.
Okay. And did you ever use those?
No.
And have you now turned those over, provided those?
Yes,
Now I want to switch gears over to what we were discussing as windy.com. What is that? What is Windy?
It's a website that is available for weather and such.
Okay. And why is that relevant in this case?
We were directed by, I think it was Captain Corporal Payne that told me that we should look into windy.com.
And why is that?
Just to see if they retained video from the cameras themselves.
Okay, so windy.com has cameras.
They have screenshots. They basically capture the ITD cameras and put them on their website. Those images are routinely purged from their site for the administration of that.
Okay. And can you explain to me, when are those, you talked about them being purged from their site? What's that schedule?
From going on their website yesterday, it's a public website, so I was able to go back to it. I don't remember exactly. I believe that within 24 hours, it's hourly. Within a week, it's daily. Within 12 months, it's monthly. And then after that, I believe it's, I was seeing probably like 3 months or so.
Can you explain why you didn't preserve those images from windy.com?
When it was discussed with other investigators, we would have only gotten, I believe it was one image per day. Time frame wasn't where we were interested in, so we didn't capture that once.
So there is no evidentiary value.
None that we did.
Okay. And have you since gone back and found some screenshots?
Yes,
It's what's available on the publicly available website,
anyone can go to windy.com and grab screenshots there.
and you've now done that.
I have,
Anything of evidentiary value?
no,
Have those been turned over anyway?
yes.
I just have 1 second.
Sure.
I don't have any further questions.
Thank you. Need me to go back?
Yes, just a bit. You were just speaking with the prosecutor about the images from windy.com. And I thought you didn't preserve anything or go back and look at anything during your investigation. Did I misunderstand that?
So yesterday when I was directed by the prosecutor,
Okay, so yesterday the prosecutor said, go look for these things.
yes,
But before that, you and other investigators decided not to. Did I get that right?
with the information that we were given, we were told that there would be a screenshot for the day, if I remember right, the parameters of. We did not grab those because they were not in the. Didn't see that they would be relevant.
But you didn't look back then. You waited until yesterday. Is that right?
No, we looked back then. I couldn't tell you what time. Most of the photos that were taken for the daily screenshot or the daily screenshots were daytime. Middle of the days kind of thing. So we didn't grab those at the time.
Okay, but you did look at the time and made a decision at the time. Do I understand that now?
Yes.
Okay. Back to the cast viz for a couple of questions for you. When you were doing the work back in April of 2023, did you see maps on the screen with the work that you were doing?
Yes.
And you also made a video of that. I want to show you a map and see if it's what I think it is. You have defendants R in front of you. What is that?
Appears to be a screen capture of the cast is something.
Is that a screen capture from a map that you made?
Yes.
All right. Your Honor would move for admission of defendants R.
Action.
No.
Exhibit R is submitted. No objection.
And are you aware that when you can see mapping on your screen on this program that there's a log created? You would agree that if I were to take the call detail records that have the tower report in them, I would have to have the same cast version you were using to recreate what you did. Would you agree with that?
I'd have to have, if I took the regular cell call detail records and put them into a different version of cast, are you saying that it would become different?
Well, I don't know. That's a good question. Let me try to be more clear about the one I was asking, and then I like yours. We might talk about your question as well. My question is, and the prosecutor suggested that your work be recreated. And so it didn't matter that you hadn't saved your session. What I want to know is if I have the 48-hour call detail records that contain the tower list like you have, do I have to have the cast viz program that you used so I can see what you did?
I don't know, because I don't know what the back end of the cast is software does. I'm just using it, so I don't know.
And you were in this cast viz program, at least for a while, creating exhibits that would be relied on. Is that right?
Yes,
On more than one occasion, is that right?
yes.
But you didn't save your work.
You did not create a session log. That's even need.
Would you agree I can't see what you did without your session log? Can't examine what you did without your session log?
Is there to create the visualizations for the exhibits? That's what I use cast viz.
But I can't see what you did. Is that right? Is that right?
No,
No, it's not right, or no, I can't see what you did.
you cannot, but I could take those cell data or call data records, put them into cast viz again. Results would be what they are because we're still using the same records from AT&T to create
Have you done that?
these records.
Yes.
No.
Thanks, that's it.
Okay, thank you. Anything on that, Ms. Jennings?
Um. Can we go, why did you pull the CDRs into Castus?
Why did I do that in April?
Mhm.
Because I was asked by you to do it for the tender.
Okay, is that the only reason you did it?
Yes,
Is that the only time you did it?
yes.
Okay.
That I remember. I mean,
Follow up on that question?
Nope, thank you.
Okay, great. Can this witness be excused?
Yes, please.
Any objection? Okay, great. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yes, thank you. Thanks, Pat. All right, you are excused, but you can stay if you like. Okay, next witness.
Your Honor, the rest of the witnesses will be present and ready to go on the 30th, to the very best of my knowledge. This was the only witness we needed to accommodate with today's hearing. So thank you for that.
Okay, thank you. So we're done for today?
We're done for today, Your Honor.
Wow, okay, Ms. Jennings, agreed?
Agreed.
Okay. Yes, what are you, hold on. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Beth. So I have a whole bunch of documents that it's not clear whether I should sign the sealing or not, because there's no stipulation and there's no hearing, but we're all here together.
Sealing, don't seal it,
So
Judge.
can we just go through this and clear it up? Yes?
Sure.
Sure.
Why does Bill look
Okay,
like his head?
so the first one I have is motion to temporarily seal
Too long.
supplemental
Stop.
response to defendant's fourth and response to fifth motions to compel and motion to limit scope of testimony. And I have not signed that because there was no stipulation. or agreed.
Your Honor, I apologize. I thought we had agreed, those have the detailed exhibits attached to them, and I thought we'd stipulated that those detailed exhibits could be sealed.
Oh, come
Okay, well,
on.
the addition on that was limited scope of testimony, so I wasn't sure if that was included in our earlier agreement.
Your Honor, that's the state's motion, and I know we responded to that, and we did not seal our response to that.
Okay. The state is asking for sealing on that. Are we on the same page? You know what I'm talking about? Okay. Just want to know if I should sign this or not.
Well, I'm just not sure. Is there an objection? It's the state's motion to seal. Is there an
Right.
objection from defense to seal?
No, if they want their documents sealed, that's fine. We had responded publicly, and so I
Yeah.
wondered if that changed.
Okay, so I'll sign this.
Oh my God. He's a
That's fine.
judge and he's like, I just don't know if I should do this. Yeah, exactly. And he's
I just don't want to get in trouble with your arguments about sealing and not sealing. Okay, I just want to be very clear on the record.
Thank you for that.
sake. Our lips are sealed, yeah, from the oh my God. The Go-Go's, yeah.
Plus is piling up with the clerk. Okay, next one is also the state's, well, this is the one that's sealed.
That's the one that's
That's
sealed.
it.
They're all sealed. Stop it. Right? Are you new here?
Got another one from the state, a motion to temporarily seal exhibits one of state's second supplemental response, et cetera. Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
These titles are getting along, I have to say. Fine. Clear.
Exactly, Heather. Only get in trouble by not following the law. We'll have a sidebar after this, guys. We'll have a sidebar.
One. Okay. This is the same. I think that's it. Anything else we need to talk about before we're done?
Not from the state?
Nothing from us.
Okay. Thank you all.
Brian's
We're
shirt,
adjourned.
it's so blue. I love that color. All righty. So, whoops. Okay. I get it. I get it. We'll stop that one. Okay, so here, as promised, we do have a sidebar. Hold on for a second. First of all, let's all just take a deep breath for a minute here. Let's everybody, whoops, let me put it on loop for a second. Let's all just take a nice deep breath after that, guys. Oh, just a nice deep breath with this guy here. I mean, that was just a lot, guys. That was just a lot. You know, just, oh, nice deep breath in and out. It's going to be okay. I don't know how Brian just keeps his calm like that. All right, now time for the sidebar. Sidebar. All right, here, let's put on a little dance music. Oops. Here we go, guys. Sidebar. Every time Auntie Bev says sidebar, this is what I think they're doing, guys. I really think they're all just like, oh, we need a sidebar. And then they're like, come on, let's go in the back, guys. right? Let's party. That's right. Let's party, guys. We need a party. And then like all the bartenders just pop up in the side in the back corner in that little courtroom in Massachusetts. Jamboard Comcast. Here you go. That'll get you there. And yeah, and then they start doing some shooters, and then get back to work. You know, side bod dance party. Exactly. Oh, side bod dance party. Exactly. There you go. Oh my God. Thank you guys so much for joining me. That was interesting. That's the kind of thing that you really thought I would do. Oh, shit. But yeah, so yeah, guys, thank you again so much for being here, all you guys. This was great. And I'm gonna have to look at it again because like that was just a shit show. Honestly, like what a shit show that was, right? It was bad. It was really bad. I'm really glad that was open though. And you could just see Bill. I mean, he looked like a fool. Of course, he looked like a fool. Feels like a fool. That was brutal. Yeah, you guys are a fun group, and I really appreciate everybody coming over. Yeah, Heather, I agree. Yeah, thank you guys. Yeah. No, Bill didn't even talk. He just sat there with his head like turning purple and red. It was really just, it was brutal. Right now, Anne is probably guzzling vodka. And although she looked so pleasant, the way she sat there with her hands folded. And I don't know what Bryan does to like center himself. I don't know if he just does like some kind of meditation, like Zen. Maybe he's like a Zen Buddhist. He does like he levitates in his jail cell. He's always so chill in there, you know. I know. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I was really hoping for a PowerPoint presentation today to throw Bill off. That one really just took it. I mean, that sent the guy. It really sent the guy. And whew, that was a good one. All right, guys. Well, thanks for being here. And tomorrow, anybody who's following along with me on the Karen Reed trial, Bryan Higgins. It's going to be really interesting, guys. And I'm going to do something later on tonight, maybe, on a few things I saw. But I'm really looking forward to Bryan Higgins. Thank you, Eric P., for being here. Robin, Bubbly, Leslie, Heather, Michael, everybody. Thank you guys all for being here. All right. Yeah, PowerPoint would have put him over the edge. All right. Take care, guys. Yeah, no trial today in Boston, but tomorrow there will be. Bryan Higgins on the stand. Cannot wait. All right. See you guys later.